It's a cold January day at Peterborough Dog Track, and it's a race day, which means the track has to be perfect, and there is a lot more that goes into achieving that than you might think. So Robert, you're head of operations here, and that involves looking after the track and everything around the track. I'm guessing this time of year is particularly challenging for you.
Yeah, it is. It's you are constantly looking on the weather, and it's not just one weather app you may look at. You probably look at 2 or 3 because they seem to be changing the temperatures and things like that, like every 3 or 6 hours. So you're constantly looking at it, and it is a massive challenge for us, certainly in the winter, because obviously you don't want a frozen track, and obviously you want to make it safe for the greyhounds. So
what would a typical day look like for you?
Right, okay. For the track guys and everything else, certainly in the winter, first thing they will come and have a look at the track. So if it's been frozen during the night, they will just make sure that the track is okay. Obviously, if there's any issues with the track, then we will deal with it. But if it's after a race meeting, then they will start prepping the track for the next race meeting. Again, they will be looking at the temperatures. So if we need to put salt in there, then we will need to. Also, we need to make sure that the track is kept wet as well, which is extremely difficult when it's cold.
So we've got a couple of hours to go until racing. Do you mind just jumping out and showing us what you're looking for in the track right now prior to racing, and if you're happy with it the way it is? Obviously it's about 0 degrees at the moment, isn't it?
Yes, it is about 0 at the moment. Well, the guys have been in this morning and prepped the track. You can probably just see on the outside where it's a bit white, so they put more salt on today. So we're expecting temperatures of -2, -3. It was -5 last night. But at the moment in terms of checking the track, I think you have to be quite experienced, so you can actually feel it underneath your foot in terms of what it's like, and also you can put your fingers in and see what it's like, and it gives you a bit of an idea. Some people go around with screwdrivers and just see how far you go around. I mean, sounds archaic, but actually you need to just have the experience of what the track feels like and how it goes. So at the moment they've done a lot of work in terms of just knocking it into shape. The bends and everything else have to be the right gradients, and same with the straights as well, so if any water comes it drains off. But at the moment this track has been laid down. It's wet, so it's got enough moisture in it. You can feel just by moving your foot here as well, you can just see that the sand is sticking together. You can actually pick up the sand, look, and it rolls into a ball, so that means that it's holding together, that you've got some moisture in there. And there's also the other properties, like, I don't think they call it clay, but something similar, which sort of makes it into a ball figure. So that helps. You can also, dare I say, use your fingers. I know it sounds silly, but by putting your fingers in, look, you can see how the sand moves as well. So it gives you a bit of an idea in terms of what the dog may experience. And you can see how deep you can go down as well. So we're going down a good couple of inches at the moment without really trying.
And that's about what you're looking for?
Yeah, so it's a moist track. It looks good on the top surface. We've obviously salted, so fingers crossed that we're okay.
I'm far from an expert, but it does feel quite nice underfoot, sort of firm but soft at the same time if you're trying to explain it to the viewers.
Yeah, I mean, a firm track means that the dogs will go a bit quicker, and so ideally it wants to be a bit in between, so soft and firm. Yeah. So that's our constant challenge, is in terms of keeping it moist enough but making sure it's not too hard. And certainly in these conditions where it's cold, you're very wary about putting water on. And in terms of digging up as well, where you dig up the track to lay it down, is quite difficult. So
I'm learning about all this stuff because I have no idea about track preparation, but you have a lot of equipment to do all this. This is the first of 2 tractors, and this is more of an everyday kind of tractor that you use with the equipment on the back here. Yeah,
it is. So most tracks which are part of GBGB have pretty similar equipment, and thankfully for John Haynes and the GBGB, they managed to sort it out. So a lot of the stuff we do is pretty similar to all other tracks. So this small tractor here, and this takes the grader. So this is the grader here. So you have some tines at the front, and you can adjust those quite easily, so you can go down to whatever depth. We don't actually use this scraper. Some tracks probably will do, but we don't use that. And then you've got the mat at the back, which basically has a few weights in there, because you can see the tines going in, and you can set those to probably about 1 inch. And then you need to flatten the track, because you can see just behind, and make it a nice running surface for the track.
And that goes round during the meeting as well?
Yeah, so that goes round after every single race. and that does 2 laps.
Okay, shall we go inside and see the big tractor?
Yeah, definitely.
Let's go. So this isn't used as regularly, this massive tractor here, but it looks like a serious piece of equipment.
Yeah, this is what we use to dig up the track. So after a while, you get what you call a pan underneath the sand. So that's from you wetting it and drying it. So you need to dig it up. And certainly in the summer months and the autumn and potentially the spring as well, you'll be digging it up once a week at least. And then there's a process of laying that track down to get it back to where it is now. But yeah, this bit of equipment here, it needs a large tractor, which is about 60 horsepower. Again, like I said before, most tracks will have this, and they follow the same sort of protocol as we do in terms of laying and digging the track up. So, but this is a heavy bit of kit. And for actually to dig the track up, it probably takes about 3 or 4 hours just to dig it up, because you go round at like 4 or 5 miles an hour.
Okay.
And then obviously you've got the rest of the day to lay it down and get it ready for
using the tractor we saw earlier.
Yes, exactly.
So that's more of a spring, summer, autumn type thing. The piece of equipment that gets used more in the winter is this.
Yes, so this is the salt spreader we use. Just simply you get about 20 bags in there, so that's probably about half a ton of salt in there. And you can vary the amount of salt which comes out the back. It saves many hours. I mean, years ago, it used to be 3 or 4 of us just spreading it by hand, like throwing things out for the chickens,
In terms of water, there's a big bowser outside as well.
Yes, so certainly in the summer months, you're probably putting about 6 or 7 bowsers on a day. And certainly with the summer we've just had, you're constantly watering just to keep, even on the non-race days, you are watering the track just to make sure it's okay for the race meeting.
Obviously, you've been doing this for many years. You must have learnt an awful lot in that time. It takes a lot to judge, water, salt, digging up, how much to dig up.
I don't actually prep the track, but the guys do, and I'm obviously talking to the guys very often. One of the guys has been with us for over 40 years, and there's 3 guys who are basically working 6 days a week just on the track. So we commit a lot of resources to it. Doesn't mean that we get it right every single time, but we try our best.
And you do really see it as maybe even the most important part of what you do.
It is. You've got to have a safe track, and without a safe track and the greyhounds running around, we don't have a business. So that's why we put so much time and effort into it. So
you spend your life weather watching?
Yes, yeah. Along with the rest of the other track staff,
Praying for rain and plus temperatures.
Yeah, exactly. Because it changes all the time. And it's not, you can't actually plan ahead, a couple of days. You are looking at the temperature every time. So certainly this time of year.
Well, thank you for explaining it all to us, and I hope the winter is kind to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Same here. Thanks again. Cheers.